I'm not sure than Lagos. Can you please tell us about it?
Dele, let me first say thank you very much for having me in your program. It's a great honor. And I also celebrate your 60th birthday. I wish you many more years of Jack Fashek. It was a mixture of feelings. On the one hand, a feeling of loss, of a great talent, a great and patriotic African, a black man. On the other hand, it was also a bit of celebration of a life of talent, and it is not the length of time we spend on motherhood that is important, but the impact we're able to make. My Jack may have spent not as much as he should, but for the short time he was on stage in Nigeria, in the US, he was a philosopher in the realms of I remember the songs, even those of Bob Marley, that he did there on Bob Marley. And I'm proud that we were able to feature him on the Lekki Songs stage twice. We became very close, and I can just describe it as a mystery,
Fantastic. Okay. Now we go to the very beginning, which is what we normally do for our guests. So, and we're not going to deprive you of our usual protocol. We believe that you are one of those who, in your private capacity, you've done Africa very proud. And Africa must celebrate you. If we don't celebrate good people, then bad people will thrive. That has always been my philosophy. So, we would start by asking you to take us down memory lane. I know that you lost your dad very early in life. I think you were about 11 years old when you lost your dad, and you had to live with your grandmom at some point. Could you please take us through? Because sometimes when people see successful people, they think they just dropped from the sky and they became successful.
Okay, thank you, Dele. Well, if I may just give a glimpse of my early life. I was born on April 20, 1962. My dad, my mom got scholarship to school abroad when I was 2 years. And my grandmother, we then lived in Queen Street in Yaba, encouraged my mom to follow her husband. And then when they settled, she probably put me in a basket and sent me there. But it didn't happen. For the 9 to 10 years that they spent in England, she held me back in Nigeria, and I thank God for that opportunity, because the foundation of what I am today was laid in those years, living with the grandmother. Within those 10 years, I lived with her. I lived with an uncle in Diaraba. I lived with two aunties in different parts of Yaba area of Lagos. And a lot of life lessons were learned in those periods. But as a young child, growing up in Lagos, life was fun. I was in school, Ladylak Institute at Akinwumi Street. And then when my parents arrived, I then ended up at the famous grammar school for my second education. But the critical element of my years without my parents and with my grandmother was the foundation of faith in God that was laid. My grandmother was a wild Christian, to quote Wale Soyinka about his mother. The wild Christian. She was in church in the morning, in the afternoon, in the evening. And even with my parents as a child, I learned how to read the Holy Bible in Yoruba by age of 9. And that has been my shield, because in the process of growing up, we are wont as kids to do all kinds of things, but always coming back home to that foundation of Christianity and prayers that was inculcated in me by my grandmother. So indeed, that foundation was laid, and all other experiences subsequently, till this very moment, the dimension around my utmost belief in God, and everything I've done, the things we've mentioned, Lekki Sunsplash, and so on and so forth, I believe were as a result of grace. The speed of success, the capacity to deliver mandates even beyond expectations, even up to my current aspiration, is guided by the gift of the Holy Spirit and the assistance I've received from God.
Can we take your secondary day schools, please? Your secondary what was it like?
Okay. Well, the CMS Grammar School, by all standards, the first secondary school in West Africa, founded in 1859. An institution then, still, I think today, still run by Reverend Fathers as principal, was a great institution. Boys who were trained to be boys, but anchored around the Christian faith, a lot of hard work, because I mean, it was school, we had fun, and I was for a few years before I became a day student. I can say with all sense of responsibility that the CMS Grammar School was a transformational institution. As a timid boy, you will live as a very strong and very hardened, because the discipline, the challenge, the competition was very tough. And I think that experience, was also fundamental to who I have become in life. Yeah.
Do you remember some of your greatest moments in school?
One of my most important moments was a visit to my school by the late Chief Erielo Idefajemiruku, an old boy of CMS Grammar School, and essentially the first president of the Young British Chamber of Commerce. I remember that when I was being sworn in as the 14th president of the chamber, I invoked his memory and that of Chief Adelegan Lawson. Both were the first and the second president of the chambers, and they were old grammarians. The day he visited the grammar school, for the first time in our life, we saw a black man being driven by a white man in a Rolls Royce, driving into the grammar school. And telling us exploits as a student, how, his father was a catechist in Eluji in Ondo State, and how, he had to go through school and left in Form 4 to become a trader in perfumes, and at the time he was speaking to us at the age of 55, he was president of Lagos Chamber of Commerce, he was president of he was arguably the richest Nigerian at that time. And I think the moment he left, all I did for the next.
Wow, I hope the telephone is on Do Not Disturb.
Ignited my entrepreneurial spirit and my capacity to dream beyond my circumstances.
Okay, could you tell us about Chief Adelegan Lawson? I remember that time he was also an industrialist.
Yes, it is. It is.
Okay.
So can you hear me now?
Yes, I'm hearing you. I was talking about Chief Adelegan Lawson. You spoke about Fajemiruku. Hello? 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 Can you hear me?
Well, the late Adelegan Lawson was a great industrialist. Like I said, it was.
Oh, the internet is playing up again.
Yes, I said Adelegan Lawson was also a great industrialist. Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah,
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I can hear you now.
So Adelegan Lawson was also a great industrialist. Can you hear me?
I'm hearing you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, please. I can. I'm hearing you loud and clear. Hello? It seems.
Okay, go on. Go on.
Yes. Okay. So I was now going to talk about your university days where
I'm
you read English language.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Dele.
Yes. You studied English language.
Yes. I can hear you very well.
So, yes, what prompted you to study English language? Why English? Is it your Ajebota background or?
Yes, I studied English at the University of Ilorin.
Yes. So could you tell us about your experience in Ilorin?
Well,
from Lagos to
Ilorin. When I was at the Lagos campus. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I grew up in the University of Lagos. My mother was a catering manager. And because I'd lost my father, I learned a lot of fathers. There was a decision that because of my tendency to be an advocate, because I was very, quote unquote, uncles and aunties on kind that I should read English as a first degree before going to read law. So even though I had enough A-level results to enter for law, I was sent to the then Department of European Languages, the University of Ilorin, arguably the best department of English in Ilorin. At the time, Professor Adesola was the vice chancellor, to read English with the intention of coming back to Unilag to read law. That was why I read English as first degree.
And so what was Ilorin like? I always like to get it, to have a feel of school.
Well, Ilorin was like any other university in Nigeria. It was fun, studies, parties, activities, travel. Guys who come from IFE, from ABU, university. I mean, we did not only go through the university went through us, and I was particularly active, in the social scene on campus. It was difficult to have a party in the University of Ilorin at that time. If I was not involved, it was like going to flop, because of my capacity to mobilize resources and persons, organizing ability to make it work. So the foundation for my event management activities and competencies were laid at the University of Ilorin, where apart from being a student, I was a social activist.
I read something very funny about you, that you think you prefer religious worship in Yoruba. Why?
And because I told you, my grandmother taught me how to read the Yoruba Bible as a little child. And I sincerely believe that, people should read the Bible in their mother tongue. My own experience is that by reading and praying in Yoruba all the time, even with a degree in English, I have been able to have a better connection spiritually with the Word of God. And so I join people that even though you can read the English Bible, get a Bible in your mother tongue. And when you communicate with God in your mother tongue, that was the reason it made me a Yoruba man. It would have made me an Indian, and or a Chinese. And the relationship between the religion, the language and the culture of where God has deposited me is very important to my growth and development spiritually and physically. So I recommend that we should all encourage our children and ourselves to connect, particularly when we're reading the Bible. Because even as students of English, the English Bible is still a very difficult book to read. How much more? One person doesn't have a degree in English. And how do you communicate with your creator in a language that you're not proficient in?
Wow. I could see that your resume is lengthy and massive, but I intend to take it one by one, because, there are too many great people who are not properly celebrated in our country, and you happen to be one of them. So I know you very well, but for the sake of those watching, my viewers from all over the world, it would be nice if...
Well, I was 25, and I was serving in Lagos at the Polity Grammar School, where I was teaching English and literature, each party. And a couple of friends and I discovered the Mayegun beach. At that time, it was from 1004 to Ekpe. It was white sand on the right and the left, with pockets of fishing villages. And we discovered the beach, and Julius Berger officials were more or less privatized the beach as a private beach. And I was able to convince them to allow us to come in from time to time to have a party of 20, 10, 15 people. And it was in one of those parties that I got the inspiration to organize a big event, a big party, maybe for 5,000 people. And then, like I said, because of the fact that I did not intend to make money out of it, it was basically just to fulfill a promise, that made to my friends that we'll have a big party on that beach. So when sponsorship came from Polygram, they asked me how much I wanted to earn, and I said it should be free. It should be free. But I just wanted to do it, finish my youth service, and go and study law. I didn't want to make a career in entertainment. But because of that principle of deferred gratification, 1 million people came to the beach on December 25th, 1988. And I also broke down midway into the day when I saw the crowd. It was overwhelming, but I knew that my life had changed forever. And I knew that life was going to be spectacular. And I thank God it is still as of today.
Wow. Could you recollect some of the artists that you promoted at the time?
No, I mean, before I even talk about the artists, I need to talk about prominent names in the Nigerian music industry called the Pajilos, the Laolu Kings, brought in the late Geraldo Pino, brought in Charlie Boy, Olumide Shaw was my partner, Begadelaja and Remi Oguto were on cameras. Virtually, who is who? Ali Baba was my PA at that time, the comedian.
Wow.
Danny Will, Manu Onumonu, everybody in the Nigerian music industry were party to the success of the Lekki Suspect. I was just the creator and the face, but the entire Nigerian music industry was part. Even you, Dele, Faj, the Mayor Akipelu, all of you guys were part of it. So it was my idea, my creation, that the manifestation and the activation of the Lekki for the next 6 years. It was the 3-day concert, 1 million, 1.5 million people. It was the biggest era in entertainment in the country.
Wow.
And in terms of, Femi Sheung was 6 years old. Femi, Sonny Okosun, Geraldo Pino, and we even had a talent competition that produced the likes of Pasuma, the likes of that later became, Wasiu. It was on the Lekki song.
Did you have Ras Kimono?
Ras Kimono, Femi, everybody. There was nobody in the Nigeria except people like maybe
Mike Oakley.
Sorry?
I said Mike Oakley.
Mike Oakley, Mandators, Sonny Okosun. There's even nobody, rarely, in the Nigerian Femi. Fela ended our shows for the last 4 concerts, and wow. Some of them awesome, undescribable.
At under 30, you were able to do that.
God allowed it and gave the grace.
So what does this tell you about the age factor in leadership?
Well, my view is that there's 2 critical elements, that I think the Nigerian youth need to develop very quickly. One is courage of conviction, and I think our generation, yours and mine, because of how we came up, we struggled, we worked hard, we went to school, and we're not relying on anything. I lost my father at 11, even a single shirt I didn't inherit. I won't say they would have been out of fashion by the time I was old enough to wear his shoes. So we were determined, to make something. And then the kind of education we had was one that built men in us. We're not afraid of obstacles or problems. Till today, I don't believe anything is impossible. If I have the direction to run for president of the country, just like you did, I'm going to run for it. And, so the courage of conviction, I think the first thing, we had that. Number 2, our faith was stronger because of the kind of background we had. Prayer is critical, and prayer availeth much. The youth of Israel do not pray enough. They don't understand fasting. It's difficult for them. Nobody needs to tell me to fast. I fast 3 days a week, Sundays, Mondays, and Tuesdays, as a policy. Because, how will you go to church with food in your stomach and expect the Holy Spirit to affect you? How do you start as an entrepreneur for 30-something years every Monday? Until you finish your management meeting, you can't even eat. And Tuesdays, the Yoruba mythology, a lot of our Yoruba don't even know the culture, where they come from. Tuesday is Ojo Ishegun in Yoruba. That is the day every man must fast and pray. So these are values. If a child does not understand the idioms of his culture, he probably will not know how to behave properly. He won't even be able to experience opportunities and dimension them properly. So that's why I said there's a relation between culture, language, religion, and experience. As a matter of fact, I proceed to say that if you're not connected and rooted in your culture, you are not likely going to have the wisdom and the courage to take advantage of opportunities when they come. You chicken out because you want the easy way out. But if you understand the culture, the idioms, I know you quote Chief Adela very well. I'm also one of his, I really regard him as an understanding of who you are, and when you don't know who you are, the likelihood is that the opportunities that God has created for you, you won't even see it, not talk of taking advantage of it. So for the youth of our country, my encouragement, and I'm trying to do a book, I've been trying to find time to write the story of the Lekki Sausage and to show you that you don't have to be anything. All you have to have is the courage, what we call Ayaganda in Yoruba, and that is what has affected everything. And I didn't expect the success of the Lekki Sausage, but because I didn't charge money, again, the principle of deferred gratification, youths are used to where's the money before they do anything. So we were doing these things not for money, but money came, fame came, honor came, and that's a principle. So the principles of deferred gratification is critical in children and youth to enable them advance. They have to put money not as unimportant, but as not the main focus for every exertion. And like I said, the final thing is the God factor. I mean, there is no way you are created. Somebody created you, decided to put you in Nigeria, put you in Yoruba land, put you in your family. He has a plan for you. You must be connected. And it's only prayer that can allow you to that connection. As a matter of fact, you get to a level when you develop that relation to an extent, the Spirit of God begins to guide you, begins to even open doors for you. So to the extent that these days, even the things I want to do 5, 10 years time, I've already seen them. And I'm already walking the path to achieving them. So there's no magic in success. It is a courage of conviction, principle of deferred gratification, and absolute faith in God your creator.
Wow. Yes, Buki Ayola says wise words. Yes, Buki is my very, very close friend and sister. She's a lawyer. She finished from Ife. Yes, before we go further into your very robust CV, I also remember that you are a health freak. When I came back from exile and I was staying at Excellence Hotel, almost on daily basis, you carried your bag, you were in your shorts and your top, and you came in. Could you tell us about your physical?
I have all the opportunity. Lawn tennis. I was introduced to it by my doctor, and it has been a lifesaver. Because of the kind of lifestyle of consistent dreaming and planning and working, there's a tendency to have stress and a lot of pressure on you all the time. But tennis, lawn tennis, is a beautiful game that helps you. 1 hour of tennis, you sweated, it takes the stress away, you forget momentarily the problems and the challenges that come with entrepreneurship. So that life has helped, and also a good diet. Learning the right things to eat, sleep. I don't have enough sleep actually, but at least I try to do exercises. And that is because as an entrepreneur, there are hazards of entrepreneurship. And you find a lot of entrepreneurs suddenly develop heart attack, stroke, and the rest of it. Because business is, particularly in an environment like Nigeria, is crisis management. It's not a bed of roses. People look at Aliko as Aliko is the richest man. Let them go and say Alaji. Probably doesn't live in 1 a.m. sometimes. 24 hours. Because when you dream, and God is giving you the capacity to deliver it, you want to achieve success. And, a lot of people that have been sent to you, either as staff, as partners, you also want their life to be meaningful, to be impactful. So you carry a lot of burden, apart from your family responsibilities. So you'll find that you are the jack of all trades and master of all. You are the accountant, you are the janitor, you are the marketer. You have staff, but you are the one literally doing most of the work. You are poor for a very long time before you become rich. You have to also live your life by giving, and you have more enemies than friends. As more friends you lose. So in all of this, I always encourage entrepreneurs to get into a physical sport regularly that can help to regulate their stress and help to reduce the impact of the burden of entrepreneurship on their life. So I'm still a sportsman.
Fantastic. Okay, now I will go into a passion that I know you have, and that is for made in Nigeria products. Can you tell us about your passion and how you have developed it over time?
Well, in 1999, I was a member of the Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce delegation to our annual bilateral talks. The days of Kuforiji, Olubi, Adeyemo, and so on and so forth. I was a very junior member of that delegation. That was my first trip with the chamber. And during the discussion, I discovered that a lot of discussion was more towards, British business into Nigeria and what's not. So I opined at that meeting that isn't it time we also begin to project the best of Nigeria globally, particularly the United Kingdom, with the population of about 1.7 million Nigerians at that time. And I was lucky that the chamber accepted to work with my community Africa, and the first Made in Nigeria exhibition was held at the Barbican Center in 1999. Prominent people that came with us was the Fashion Association Design of Nigeria, then headed by the current richest lady in Africa, Mrs. Folorunso Alakija. People like Dudu Oshu, DP Wine from George, the best foreign exhibition in the United Kingdom in 1999. In 2000, we repeated it at the Wembley Arena, and in 2005 and 2006, we took the same exhibition to the Sandton Convention Center in South Africa, Johannesburg. And so at that age, I was basically just doing my own bits to promote Nigeria. I was losing money, but once I'm convinced that there is a particular job to be done and I have my capacity to do it with God on my side, I get it done. And, that opened Nigerian products. As a matter of fact, by the time we're going to South Africa, the Nigeria Export Promotion Council, the Nigeria Investment Promotion Council were on board with us. Dr. Olagunju Tunji, our ambassador in South Africa, raised almost about 2 million rands from ShopRite, MTN, and all the South African companies to assist us. And we even had an event on October 1, 2006 at the Hilton in Sandton, where for the first time, the Greco of MTN, Cyril Ramaphosa, who's now the president of South Africa, was chairman of MTN, Patrice Motsepe, all the major owners of businesses that were investing in Nigeria were given awards by the then Minister of Commerce, who represented President Olusegun. So that was the foundation for exposing Nigerian products internationally. And today, when you go into supermarkets across the United Kingdom, you see Nigerian products on the shelves. So I'm very proud of that. Very proud.
Okay, before I continue, I am reading a message here from Jeremy from the United States of America. She says, Prince Dapo cried the first day he heard me sing. I remember the day you taught me some life principles. The world is blessed to have a man like you. He loves music so much. That's from Jeremy from the USA. And so, you see, you have a lot of testimonies as well. Ayagbangba. Yes. Okay, we will continue to read out some of the messages for you, but I can see that a lot of people, your message is resonating with them. Now, the other thing I also know is that I used to meet you a lot on flights. In fact, it seems the only place we met was in the airport or on one flight or the other. And I'm aware that you went through a lot of rigorous training globally. Could you tell us some of these trainings you went for?
Well, like I said, I have had executive training at institutions, Strathmore University in Kenya, Yeste in Barcelona, and a lot of courses across different parts of the United Kingdom. I was a member of the owner management program of the Lagos Business School in 2002, and I have the singular honor who has also been a veritable factor of exposure, particularly the chief executive program that went for spoke about globalizing. And I've been a member for 22 years, member of council, vice president, deputy president, and president. I think those 22 years were 20 years of serious training in business, international business, and what's not. So I benefited tremendously from those exposure, and that has helped my business and the activities so far.
Wow. Then your foray into PR and advertising has been quite monumental. In fact, you are virtually synonymous.
Dele, I thank God for those opportunities. Like I said, once God has designed your life, and you have keyed into it, you'll be moving from one success to the other. It looks easy. It's not easy. It's just grace. When I was 30, in the 5th year of the Lekki Sunsplash, I was on holiday in England, and I saw for the first time the ultra-wide electronic billboard. And as usual, I saw the names of some of the brands in Nigeria, Coca-Cola, Marlboro, and so on. So I approached the company in London, Automation, which is the biggest outdoor company in England at that time. And I told them they have a VCR player, and I played the 5th anniversary video of the Lekki Sunsplash. And they could see the branding around the concert venue, the same Benson and Edges, Marlboro, 7-Up, Pepsi. And I told them I would like to take those kind of billboards back to Lagos because they're my clients. They told me they were not the one that was manufacturing it. The manufacturer was Southern Metal Fabricating in Bristol, and that they can take me there, but I have to sign a technical agreement with them. And I did it immediately. Within a day or two, I was in Bristol with them. And the guys in Bristol said I was the 9th Nigerian that had come to buy it. They never came back. The rider and they busted for 2. And so it was in 2002 at the Allen Avenue roundabout. It was on Frank Olize's master, what's it called, that program. There's a news line when Nigerian breweries used, and that was a watershed, because the then governor, Raji Razaki, again, who was the one that gave me a C of O for 1.1 hectares for starting Lekki Sunsplash, was also the governor that decreed the second day that all wooden billboards in Lagos should be broken down. And he wanted that kind of billboard. So here was I again, within the span of 5 years, affecting another industry that was quickly given a front chair, and the industry, because I wanted to sell it, just to sell it to them. But because nobody understood it, I had to set up a company called Benjamin Black with some partners, and we put in the first electronic billboards in Nigeria. And when I drive around and I see digital billboards, I feel a sense of pride that we also pioneered the digitalization of advertising in Nigeria. And then when Adelegan, our common friend, the great MD of GT Bank, got the license to operate in England, he called on me and said, what can we do in England? And the Heathrow was being built at that time. So I got my partners in England. I also got GT Bank to be the first Nigerian brand to be advertised. They're still there tomorrow at the Heathrow Airport, and also the Old Tambo Airport in South Africa. So
Terminal 5 in London.
Yes. So those are some of my experts. And also, even at the time, we also got advertising into university campuses. I was the first to put bus shelters across all Nigerian universities and began to advertise them. So God has helped us to also impact tremendously locally and internationally in the advertising space.
Yes, what are the principles of public relations that you can briefly teach my viewers? Last night, we had a banker extraordinaire, Otumba Femi Pedro. He took us through a very, very beautiful lecture on investments, entrepreneurship. So I would also want to seize this opportunity because a lot of people don't know the meaning of PR. And let me put it this way. In government, and you hope to go into government sooner than later, in government, they tend to employ media, reporters, editors. Is there a difference between having a knowledge of media and public relations? Because it seems people are confused about media and PR. People think being a media person means you can take good care of a governor, of a minister, whereas the media person may not even know anything about public relations.
Well, Dele, by his grace, I think by this time, October this year, by his grace, we may or we will, by his grace, have a media PR practitioner of all policy formulation and exertion. The most effective tool of politicking is understanding human relations and public relations. And so, as opposed to branding or marketing strategy in terms of development of a product and introduction for consumption, PR is actually the foundation of public engagement in politics. So there's a relationship between politics and public relations to the extent that a politician or political party that does not understand public perception cannot actually deliver to the public. Because politics, if you notice, democracy is defined as the government of the people, for the people, by the people. It's all about the people. And the reason why we have had problems in this country is that we have not separated politics from governance. There's a difference. The only place where that has worked effectively is Lagos State, where you have seen a consistent level of technocrats in politics becoming governor, from Ashwaju himself, that has been a game changer in the economy and the dynamics of Lagos, even though there's a lot more to do. But as a sub-national, Lagos is now the 5th largest economy in Africa, even potentially surpassing Kenya in the next few years as the 4th largest economy. Just like California was dimensioned in the 70s as the 7th largest economy in the world, and now the 5th largest in the world, and still a state in America, which is number 1. Lagos has the capacity of being projected globally as an economy that is within Nigeria at number 5. That is about public perception. So there is a need for us to ensure that all policy exertion, all policy formulation are built around compassion. And compassion means putting the business and the needs of the people at the forefront of all political aspirations. Look at the British government, for example, where you live very well, and I have a lot of relationships. There is the principle of preemptive giving that presupposes that we don't have to wait for people to ask for houses, to provide houses for them. By letting people have access to houses in a way that is very easy and be able to pay even only the interest for 30 years, they have confined their people to a lifetime of respect for political authority and for high productivity, just by providing houses. The temperature of crisis has gone down. Everybody is a member of the Commonwealth. People get to do their job because they know there's a correlation between their job and to tertiary institution in the United Kingdom.
Okay, it's back.
Okay? So yes. These are elements of public relation. This is understanding the needs of the people, using the power of governance to address those needs, and what you then get is a civic society that's responsive, that is producing at higher capacity, that is respecting rules of engagement, and are responsible citizens. The absence of public relation concept in the heart of government in Nigeria, we have no water, we have no roads, there are no good hospitals, our students cannot afford education, and there are no student loans. It means that the business of governance is not people's public relation. It is adopted as a tool of government. The needs of the masses will be preemptively provided, and it's elite consensus, it's elite intelligence to provide ahead before they ask, so that those who are called elite can continue to enjoy their God-given wealth and transfer it seamlessly from one generation to the other. If we do not do that, there must be an elite consensus to ensure that the needs of our masses are prioritized. Good roads, good shelter, good health, student loans. And I emphasize that this country can afford student loans for our people because education is the fastest track out of poverty. So equality, inclusion, and all the restiveness that we're having will be abated and we'll have a better system. That is the importance.
But I don't want to preempt that yet. Now there is COVID-19 ravaging the world. And I knew that in the past there was another epidemic that ravaged the world, HIV, and you were actively involved. Right now, what can you teach us based on your previous experience with dealing with another virus, which was HIV at the time?
Okay, well, I mean, the truth of the matter, Dele, is that the COVID-19 pandemic is a referendum on governance in Nigeria, particularly Africa and Nigeria. It's a referendum. In England, where you and I have families and interests, a lot of our children are working from home because there's broadband. They are shopping from home. They are learning from home. They are worshiping. They have water to clean their hands every 20 minutes. And so we don't have that. Our hospitals, I told somebody that if you go to any hospital in England, a single bed has equipment worth 5 million, 100,000 pounds, every single bed. So this is a referendum on governance, and therefore this is, and the mindset are able to govern in this COVID era, and it's going to be with us for a couple of years. I think the important thing is testing and tracing. Testing and tracing. If you recollect that under the NACA, under the late Professor Oshotimei and Professor Femi Sopuso, I worked with them to organize the International Conference on AIDS and STIs. We hosted 5,000 delegates from all over the world. Bill Gates and his wife were our visitors, and we successfully held a $6 million conference, and Nigeria was very proud in the program of Ambassador. And it was to engender that encourage people to come and do tests. It was a test. It was the demystification of AIDS as it's just to come and show yourself and do tests. The success of the test led to the eradication of HIV. Because once you are tested, you can then be managed and can be engaged. So testing will be critical going forward and affected and heal them before they affect other people in society. Another issue, and I wish I had access at the time during the lockdown, when a lot of corporate Nigerians were giving a lot of money. I would have expected Lagos, for example, to have used the opportunity to transform the transportation system, to have used the opportunity to change the era of the current level of transport that we have in Lagos. Because after the lockdown was eased, we saw a lot of our people still struggling to enter Molue and enter Danfo. Those are COVID-19 carriers themselves. I would have expected that more of the kind of buses that were on the street recently, when Soboli came in and when our brother, the Baba Ambode, was there, more of that will have been brought in. So that we use the opportunity to change the transportation system in Lagos and bring in comfortable and healthy transportation system. So my encouragement, even to my state government, is that this is the time that we need to do, and we want to work on water. It's a shame in the 20th century, 21st century, our cities do not have water. When I was a child growing up in Yaba, you had street taps. All of us people that fetch water.
We used to put our hand
put water and drink and eat.
Yes.
Water was flowing. This is the time that we need to move fast in providing water on our streets, in providing electricity. If you can use generators to power street lights, use it to power streets. If you cannot solve the problem there, put generators there, put diesel there. Let people have at least 6-7 hours of electricity. Because if we are going to go for the next 2 years sitting at home and do the social distancing, e-learning, e-working, e-shopping. There must be electricity. There must be broadband. So there should be massive investment in broadband. Of course, we must make our cities smart cities. Hospitals. So over and above the issue of testing and tracing, without adequate equipment and facilities for the hospital and protection for the workers in the hospital, without water, without electricity, without broadband, and I don't want to talk about SME funding and support. I think the Bankers Committee are working on all of that. But the basic thing that people require that will show that government is ensuring, look at the amount of money that the British government has spent, £50 billion to just support people to be able to stay at home. We have spent a lot of money here too, but those monies should be put in testing, tracing, provision of water, provision of electricity, and broadband for our people. With that, we can make it, we can abate it.
Wow. This has been quite a conversation. Before we carry on, we would like to have a quick break. I know you love Fela Anikulapo Kuti, so we'll play. Why black men they suffer today? Why black man they suffer today? Why black man don't get money today? Why black man don't get money today? Why black man don't go for food today? Why black man don't go for food today? This is the reason why. This is the reason why. This is the reason why. When they sit down for our land, when they mind our business, yeah. Some people come from far away land. They fight us and take our land. They take our people and spoil our towns. Now since the trouble start, yo. Now since the trouble start, yo. One more time. Now since the trouble start, yo. Our riches then take away to their land. In return, then give us their colony. Then take our culture away from us. Yes, my prince, you know, Fela was a prophet. He was talking about black people. And today, the blacks are fighting for their rights. Now, it is no longer a secret that you want to come full blast into government, especially in prophetics.
Self-employment of the Nigerian British Chamber of Commerce. In 2018, I suddenly felt there was a need to do something else. You know, I was no more motivated by the concept of making private enterprise and money and seeing what was going on around. Particularly, I built a home in Accra since 2012, and every month at least I spend a weekend in Accra. And it was clear to me that when a society allows its best, that's more than a pandemic, that's Armageddon. Because societies where there's been growth, you could see that there was a deliberate leadership emergence strategy. David Cameron was the guest of Babajide Fashola when he was governor of Lagos State. And I was opportune to be among the group of people that he addressed It's a private minister of the Lagos Business School when he visited. And he said at the age of 10, he knew that there was a chance that 50% chance that I was Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. And why was that? Because that's a society that has developed a system of leadership emergence. They have special institutions. You can't be Prime Minister of the United Kingdom if you have not been to the walls of Cambridge or Oxford. Barack Obama was president of the Harvard Law Society. The society knew that if a black man was president of America, he would be the first. So a society that pushes its third level all the time into government and militarize the space, thereby denying its best in governance, is going to be a society that will be retrogressive. And secondly, considering the way and manner I have been assisted by God in terms of early success and speed, I came to the conclusion that He doesn't do that for you except He has an assignment. And as far as I'm concerned, the assignment is to pay back to my society in government. With you took the plunge, and the president carried it a couple of years ago. That was courageous. And so I think particularly in those states, I mean, you can imagine what we've done in Lagos State. Our Lekki Sunsplash opened up the Lekki Peninsula to the economy and social development today. The impact in trade promotion has assisted Nigeria. But Ondo State is the richest state in the country, even richer than Lagos. It has 3 climatic conditions. It has savanna in the north, it has rainforest in the center, and in the south it has a marine economy in a continental shelf. Until the Dangote refinery left us for Lagos, we were the best location for a refinery in southeast Nigeria. Almost 50% of goods imported into Nigeria by brothers from the east crisscross Ondo State through Ore every week. 5 billion worth of goods passing through Ore into the southeast. We benefit nothing except the young and the bushmeat that they eat in Ore. And we said that enough is enough. We are the Chicago of Nigeria. Chicago is a city that benefits from goods that is coming from the West Coast to the East Coast in America. It has become a behemoth economy because of the centrality. We want to exploit our location. We want to take those goods from Lagos going to South and pack them in warehouses and let the Southeasterners and South come and pick them and take them there, and vice versa. So in a couple of years, those warehouses will be rigged with gas. Ondo, Akure, or Ikare, every month to Abuja and back. We generate no value apart from the local farm produce and bread and the human mineral that they all take. So beyond even our natural and human resources, just by geography, we are blessed that every good going from the west to the north to the southeast passes through our borders. They were currently not taking any advantage of it. That is what I want to comment. To use my network, my experience, and my exposure in international trade to dimension these opportunities and generate global investments in them, leading to job creation for our people, leading to, I told about student loans. Our focus is to ensure that we have the right skill sets of children, of students that can work for the industries that are coming. We have the deepest seaport, allegedly the deepest seaport potential in West Africa, which is a local, you call it Bokoda. We don't want to build it. So we cannot continue to wait. If we use 20 years to plan madness, when are you going to be mad? At 58, we have watched all governors go and come. They try their best, but in these extraordinary times, in the life of the 21st century, where technology will drive everything, where there will be no more jobs with customers, you need knowledge, you need competence, you need capacity. And then compassion. We will use compassion as an issue. They are fundamental human rights. Like Fem Fallon will say, these are fundamental, enshrined in our Constitution. So it is not about, because I don't want to be a governor. Already, I thank God, for 32 years, I have been opportuned to be in the consciousness of Nigerians and make impact in my little way. But it is time for us to give back. It is time for us, and my brother, the current government, fantastic guy, he's done his best. And we're saying, look, the extraordinary times require extraordinary skills. You don't have it. We have it. And it is important that we be allowed to come in and dimension and put water. Let water be available to our people. Let there be electricity for people. Let there be good hospitals for people. Let our students be able to have scholarship to be able to get out of poverty. Let us open our agricultural opportunity. Let us use our skills and our network. I mean, I sit on the table at the Metropolitan Club. It's 777. I mean, virtually everybody who is in Nigeria is in the club. We have contacts. We will bring them to this. I have a friend who is the son of one of the largest industrial families in this country, who said, we want to develop an economic estate in Ondo State, but we're waiting for the right person to come in. So we have asked our people, we have spoken to our people, send us on an errand. We have trained us. In Ondo State, for example, one of the stars in the medical universe is Yinka Oluko, who is the head of Texas Child Hospital. The young man that brought the fetus out, removed the tumor, and put the fetus back, and weaned the child as a full-grown child after a couple of months. He grew up in this Japan state where I'm speaking from, my junior brother. If he resigns or don't take a sabbatical for 4 years and come and manage our health in 4 years in Ondo State, the whole American health system will come in here. And we have them around the world, but they have been excluded from politics because the optics and the image we get is that we're politically active and politically vulnerable. That must change. We must become an economically active state. The process of militarization of our policies must stop. Our talents must be allowed to come from the diaspora, to come in and put their talent into Ondo State. Why can't we go and cap $1 billion every year and put them into the state? You cast somebody that has the capacity, that has the competence, that has the network and understanding of global economics and investment to do that. That is my main motivation to come into the governorship of Ondo State.
Oh, wow. A good friend of mine and a PR guru, we were both in London in those days, and he was very supportive of Ovation. And he's from Ondo State. Akinrogun Alaba Yusuf is watching, and he's saying he's very impressed with your performance. But there are people who feel that every politician makes these sort of promises before they grab power, and that once they grab power, everything seems to fall apart. So how do you reassure people that you will be different? Because these promises are not new, they are not strange.
Well, Dele, in 2015, I got together economic experts and I developed a document called the Ondo Advantage. This was 5 years ago. I said, if there's any governor in Ondo State that will allow me to assist in dimension the economy of the state and marketing, I will join. I'll be willing to assist. But listen, there's a tendency that people personalize governance. People believe that once they're in government, it is their right to choose who they want to choose. And I tell them it's not so. We are all in government, even those of us are in government. Any government that comes in that does not allow the latent capacity within that state, local and abroad, to participate in the development of that state must be kicked out. My credentials and my experience and what has done through me in the last 35 years recommends me that whatever I lay my hands upon and want to do, I get grace to deliver it. So this is not just mere promise. This is already dimensioned. What I want to do in 4 years, I know. As a matter of fact, even the investment that I require to do the things I want to do is being dimensioned all across the world. So the reality is that I am not the politician that promises. I'm a technocrat coming into politics. And that has worked. When you have knowledge and capacity, there is delivery. 80% of the time, people come into government not even prepared, not even know what they want to come and do there. They want to add it to their CV. They want to enjoy the peculiarities and the comfort of being a governor. We are past that stage. It's not wearing Rolex and wearing lace that is a governor. It is about work. I want to come into Ondo State and pick Ondo individuals all over the world who best in their discipline to redevelop the economy of the state and have a showcase for other states to copy. Ondo State is surrounded of this is less than 30 minutes. So we're effectively at the center of a 50 million economy. Like I told you, California globalized its economy. And today, from the 7th, it's now the 5th. My intention is to globalize. I've done it for Lagos. I've done it for the federal government. I intend to globalize Ondo State economy within months of my arrival and begin to attract international attention. It's a sub-national. The Constitution allows you to project yourself. So, yes, Abuja is critical to us. But we have all it takes to become as independent nationally as California is in the United States. And that is my mission. That's my intention.
Wow, I'm reading comments here, and I have one from Lady Titi Ogedengbe, who says, no, Bob D is just passionate about those states. And then, yes, someone else, Dolly O, says the difference with this man is passion. Then again, Titi Ogedengbe, my dad would have been so proud of this interview. Wow. Then I saw, okay, Buki Ayola, she sent one earlier. She says, I am super glad I did not miss this chat. I would have missed a lot. Thank you for your kind comments. Oh, Titi Ogedengbe, again, very knowledgeable and fantastic background. Then there is Destined for Success, who says, wow, Prince Dapo Adelegan is this vast. After 30 minutes, I would have posted it on my page. So you can read, you can watch the full interview. But we still want him back because I have a couple more questions to ask him. Yes. We're waiting for my brother Prince to come back. This is awesome. I'm really enjoying the conversation, and I'm sure you're also enjoying the conversation. I hope it's not internet this time. Maybe we need to charge the phone. Maybe we need to charge the phone. Buki Ayola says we definitely need progressive people like this in governance. Fantastic. I'm waiting. I'm suspecting that it's also possible that the power. So if you need to charge it and get us back, we need to listen to this brilliant gentleman. This is so good. But we thank God that we got him on eventually. So we have very brilliant, very intelligent people from every part of Nigeria, and our intention on this program and at Ovation Media Group is to showcase the best of Nigeria and the best of Africa. I'm waiting to see. Okay, let's see. Internet didn't finish. Hotspot, you can get what we need is that photographer account. That was very good. If we can get the photographer back, the line we were using just now, that would be splendid. This one, I don't know, for some reason, is banned from connecting. Please, if you can get us the other handset we were using just now, this one is not going to reconnect. This is the one we tried. Yeah, we need that that gentleman back, please. If you can get that phone, this one is definitely not going to connect. I've tried to connect it again and it went off. Olúwa ẹ tóbi, ẹ tóbi o, ẹ tóbi, Olúwa ẹ tóbi, Olúwa ẹ tóbi. Laba Media, thank you for joining us. Okay, I've seen the photographer now. Thank you very much. God bless you. It's taking time to connect. I hope it's not an internet. Okay. Please, if we can get the photography account back, that would be perfect. I'm not able to connect to DP Adelegan that I have here. I've been trying. It's not connecting. Yeah, it says it's unable to join. So definitely we need the other one back. If it's internet, we can get, please kindly get him some quick internet or hotspots. Yes, that's the alternative we've got. So in the meantime, we'll keep praising God. We'll keep praising God. Thank you, Samuel Koso. Thank God. Oluwatobiloba. We thank God. We thank God. So our Their Prince is back. Yes, we are used to this. It happens. You know, you were talking about broadband. This is why nowadays cannot do without fast internet connection. It's very, very impossible to survive without it. So at any rate, we will just take one or two more questions, and then we yes. My prince.
Yes, sir.
My prince.
Can you see me?
Okay. I'm seeing other people. It seems your camera has been turned behind, so you need to readjust your camera. Yes, we are seeing your palace in Ijapo, in Akure. we are seeing your palace in Ijapo. We just need to adjust the camera so that you are at the center of it. No, it's gone to a different part of the palace. We were seeing you just now, but all they need to do, there is a circular thing that looks like an arrow. If they press it, it will come back to the front. Yes, we are seeing you now. So let the gentleman move away. Oh no, he has touched it again. The gentleman should move away, then you can adjust it. No, not at all. No. Please just press the arrow, the circular arrow, and then it will come back to the front. Yes, that's it. Oh, you've lost it again. You've lost it again. You've lost it again. Where you were just now was perfect. Yes, that's it. Please don't touch it again. Please just leave it at that till we finish. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you. Yes. Okay, fantastic. My prince, don't let's touch it again. Let's leave it at that. It's started misbehaving, and we are reaching the grand finale now, so we shouldn't. I hope the phone is not on. I hope people are not calling in. It seems it's disturbing it. Now, I hope we are able to finish in the next couple of minutes. Special thanks to Instagram for allowing us to do 2 straight hours. Thank you. If Instagram is watching or listening, we want to thank you for this special privilege. Ashiwaju Dayo Israel, hello. Thank you for joining us. I know I'm on your program tomorrow at 12 o'clock. By the grace of Almighty God, I will join you. So I myself now will be interviewed tomorrow by Dayo, just as I'm interviewing others. So yeah, it will be interesting. And then in the evening, I'm going to have Professor Socrates. Please, whatever you are doing, don't miss Professor Socrates tomorrow night. Mr. Leke Older, I call him Professor Socrates. That man is too brilliant. His brain, they must clone it. They must clone that brain. There are people I'm begging that whoever can find the technology, Bola, Professor Socrates, Leke Older, those brains must be cloned for posterity. So that's my prayer. So whatever technology there is now, some brains must be protected. I'm waiting to receive a request again from the same handle. And I saw Prince just now, but I don't know what went wrong with the phone. But we shall not give up. He has told us we must have Ayagbangba. So the Ayagbangba, Buki Ayola says my own brain too should be cloned. Thank you for being so generous, Buki. You are ever so kind. We need the photo. We need, that's the only thing that would work, sir. If we can get the photo account we were using just now. Atẹ́rẹrẹ kárí ayé, mojúbà rẹ o. Àríbítí àràbàtà. Wow. What is the solution? There is always a solution to every problem. My prince, please help us beg the photo man to let us use his phone, because that was working just fine, and then there is no way we can connect without it. Wow. Bookie. Okay. I think I can see the photo account again. Let's try again. I'm praying. I wish I could fast, but it's too late in the day to fast. Why is that freezing again? Olórí ayé, Elédùmarè. Bookie says they are not going anywhere. They must hear you out. You see how much people were enjoying before the break. I am not sure the photo handle is working. If perchance we are not able to conclude this interview, I will book another 1 hour immediately with the prince, because this is the climax when we should give him a standing ovation. I don't know. What should we do now? Because people are burning their internet, logged in to Instagram. Thank you. This Dumebi says you grew up reading me from Classic Magazine. Thank you so much. Please, the newspaper, and we also have our own online newspaper called the Boss newspaper. So if you go call from another phone. I think the prince is trying to reach me. So let's see. Let's try again. I don't know why the photography thing isn't working like it did before. Okay, that's fine. Let's just leave it. I beg you. Nobody should touch this again. Thank you. The prince, that is perfect. If you can hear me, that is very perfect.
I hear you very well.
Aha, please, let's just leave it at this. You will not believe it. People have refused. Hello?
I'm with you.
Okay. Now, the question to ask is, which party are you hoping to contest on?
APC.
Fantastic. Yes. In APC, you have a current governor.
Yes.
In APC, who also happens to be my very good friend and brother. You see, I'm in the middle. So, short
Yes,
shows,
he's my brother. He's more of my brother than you. We are from the same town.
I know. So I've known him almost forever. He even attended my wedding in 1992. But
Fantastic.
that notwithstanding, we must give both of you so Ilelo Bossi to navigate, because usually, it is more difficult to unseat an incumbent within your party primaries. I'm not talking about general elections. If you get the ticket, and I pray that one of you will get the ticket. If you get the ticket, then you are closer to your destination. I'm very, very proud of what you are doing. And that is why I said, no, we must allow you, and people are enjoying the conversation with you tonight. So how do you hope to get your party ticket?
I'm not as close to him as you are. The reality of our governance in today's world, in the 21st century, is that for our society to move and there are certain responsibility to negotiate their existence. As a distinguished attorney, his son, from him, I sincerely believe that he needs to go back home at the end of this first term and allow somebody else with the right skill set, with the right exposure, with the right contact, network, global understanding of economics to dimension the opportunities of Ondo State and take it to its level. It is not anything it's not taking anything away from him. If you look at his emergence, he was a dark horse like myself, who was also, assisted by grace to become governor of Ondo State. Unfortunately, he has not been able to manage that opportunity very well in the last 2 years. He has sidelined majority of the members of our party in Ondo State. Today, if you ask 8 out of 10 party members in Ondo State, they don't want Governor Akeredolu to have a second term. That is the reality. He has not managed the relationship of the political process that made him governor of the state. He has not even done the necessary things he needs to do. And it's not working. He's doing roads here and there. But governance is not just about what you do, it's about symbolism. It's about symbolism. It's about the way you communicate to the people. If you communicate to the people like an emperor, you tell them your son can be a chief of staff and nobody can do anything about it. Unfortunately, any other state can accept that, but not Ondo State. We're very proud people. We don't like being intimidated. We don't like any governor that comes in and begins to arrogate to himself the monopoly of wisdom in developing our state. So the gold standard for governance in Ondo State was Chief Adelegan Adashi of blessed memory. In 4 years, with as little as what some governors are taking every month as security votes, he was collecting a year. He built a university. He built a bank, a winner bank. He said nobody has been able to surpass that. Now, another woman has an opportunity to govern. We will expect that he will build on that foundation and improve on it. In the last 3.5 years has not been powerful. There are no jobs in Ondo State. Graduates are sacrificing their girlfriends for ritual to make money. That is more than pandemic. That's a pandemonium. There is no water in the whole state. Our people, there are no meetings at the world level. There are no meetings at local government level. It's the governor himself and his family. There is no state that can accept that. So, with all respect, I think the 4 years he has used should be enough for him. Nobody can take it away as the governor. But the next 4 years, this generation that I represent of Ondo indigenes, with global competencies and local footprints, will not allow a situation where people continue to suffer. So my motivation is to encourage my brother to finish after 4 years and move on and allow another woman to take the reins of power, one with the right skills, to dimension our economic opportunities, to market it globally as I've done for the last 30 years, to bring in the investment and the jobs and bring succor and compassion to governance. So our students will have student loans to go to school, our hospitals will be properly equipped, we'll have water running. That is life. Without water, there's no life. We'll have electricity, even if they're embedded. We'll take advantage of all the goods and services passing by our borders every day. Instead of visiting just Panayam or our own economic advantage of things. So that is what we're here to do. It is to ask them, you've done enough, it's our own autogram. Our people have languished for too long, we cannot accept it, and we want to dimension the opportunity. We're asking that it should be direct, so we can give everybody a democratic free, because if it's indirect, the governor has the capacity, has the knife and the yam to force delegates to vote him in. But if it's direct, all of us will go there and present to the leadership of the party our program. And then, and if he emerges after a direct primary, I will congratulate him. But I know that with the mood of Ondo State today, Ondo States want a change, they want a new vision, they want to go to the next level, and they are not ready for just ordinary palliatives. And that's what I meant.
Do you foresee a situation whereby if you are able to muzzle out the governor and the governor decides to go all out shooting from all cylinders and there is a breakup, maybe an implosion of your party in Ondo State, would that not give room for opposition to take advantage?
The truth of the matter is that every single aspirant, both from the APC and the PDP and other political parties in Ondo State, have a constitutional right to run for the governorship, as long as they're qualified. So this state has been run by PDP governors before. Our president won 2015 election, an APC president, when a PDP governor was in power. In 2019, with an APC governor in power, our president lost Ondo State. Of the fact that the governor did not aggregate all of the various interests within the party towards a common cause. He emerged, and rather than act as a leader and allow everybody to come in and join hands together, we lost the state. The president lost the state. So in reality, unfortunately, my brother maybe does not have the human relations skills to galvanize all interests, even his oppositions, to ensure that we are all focusing on delivering the values and the principles and the objectives of our party APC at the national level and at the state level. So the reality is that as of today, you just do, you're an investigative journalist, do your own assessment of the reaction of the people of Ondo State to Governor Akeredolu's 3 years of governance. They are tired. They are not ready for a family, a royalty in power. They want action. They want to see impact in all their lives. There's abject poverty in the state, I told you, to the extent that our youth have lost hope. They are using their girlfriends as money sacrifice. That's a pandemonium, not a pandemic, more than a pandemic. And so we need a new hope, a new song, a new vision, a generation. I belong to that generation of Ondo State indigenes that have been all over the world, and we are ready to come back to take power. We don't have the money and the resources available to the government. But the people are behind us, and we know our cause is justified. And we're saying, our brother, 4 years after, go home and rest, enjoy the rest of your life. Allow us with new energy, with new ideas in a post-COVID-19 era, in the 21st century of robotic life and living. Let us bring in the necessary skills and the competence to exploit our economic prosperity for the joy and the happiness of our people. That's our people.
Wow. On this note, I think you deserve a standing ovation. I wish you the best of luck, and I look forward to chatting further with you as you make progress in your mission. I won't call it a mission, it's a mission. May God help you. Thank you so much for coming on this program, and I want to thank my viewers. They've been extremely patient. Thank you so much. God bless you, and we'll close with a song. Let them play. Yes, by the rivers of Babylon. By the rivers of Babylon, there we find down. There we by the rivers Here we sat down, there we read, when we remember Zion. Cartoon with the winter, Zion from us down. Now how shall we sing the Lord's song? Now how shall we sing the Lord's song? And then, yes, Lady Titi Ogedengbe said we should give you a Bob Marley, so we are getting you a Bob Marley.
Time, my sister.
Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Get up.
Preacher man, don't tell me heaven is on the earth. I know you don't know what life is really worth. It's not hard to deserve the stone. Half the story has never been told. Now you can see the light. Stand up
For your rights.
Get up, stand up.
Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight.
You see, most people say, great God will come from the sky. Take away everything, make everybody feel high. Hey, but you know what?